Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Masterpiece Jewelers Monday Moments. And we are so happy to be here with you today. I'm Stacy, one of the jewelry experts and award-winning designer at Masterpiece Jewelers in Daytona Beach, Florida. And what we do every Monday morning is have a little talk, very short, less than 10 minutes, God willing, and talk about jewelry issues, things about our store, little stories and tales, just jewelry things. I love jewelry. I've loved jewelry since I was 4 years old, according to my sister and co-owner and partner, Tracy. And so I come to it with a lot of love and also more than 30 years of jeweler experience. So what I thought I would talk about today is what I call a cautionary tale about losing family heirlooms. This particular story I'm going to tell today is one that we tell every single time we do a speaking program at any organization, club, charity, or women's group. It doesn't matter what the topic is, I always put this story in. And so if you've ever seen me speak, which is quite possible if you live here in the area, you have heard this story before, but it's always good to hear it again and to pass it on to friends and family members. So many years ago now, a lady came into the store when I was working on a Saturday, and she handed me a ring and asked me to clean it. Now, this ring was very dirty. And when we say dirty, we mean soap and lotion under the stone. And because when we say rings are dirty, that's what we as women are referring to. And I like to say that clean people have dirty rings because it is soap and lotion that gets in there. If you never washed your hands, you'd have a very shiny ring, but you'd probably have a cold all the time. So that is not good. So so this lady came in, she handed me her jewelry and her one ring and asked me to clean it. And so I did, and it turned out beautifully. The gold had been discolored and the stone just looked terrible. Once I got all of that day-to-day stuff off of it, it looked spectacular. So I handed it back to her. And she asked me a question people often ask Tracy and I, and that is, how much is it worth? So I looked at it and I said, well, it's 18 karat gold and it's an aquamarine. So I'd say about $900. And she said, oh my gosh, I just got it at a garage sale. And I'm like processing that. And she goes, I have to go back. And I'm like, oh, faith in humanity. She's going back. And then she goes, they had another ring. Now, every time I tell this story, every time, this gets bigger laughter than the jokes I tell. And that is because if it was just a story or a joke, it would be very funny. But for me, it was a sobering moment that stuck with me, because what I knew about that ring, without even knowing where that ring came from, was that was a ring that someone had loved very much. You do not get all that soap and lotion under a ring like that if you don't wear it a lot. So someone loved that ring so much. And what I believe happened is something that happens every single weekend, no matter where you live. And that is, it was put out in an estate sale. So what I envision happened is something that happens to all of us who have to deal with estates of loved ones. You're already dealing with grieving, you're dealing with financial, legal, the wills, just the property, the house, all of that. It's very overwhelming. It's probably one of the most stressful times in people's lives. And so, as a result, by the time you get to the estate sale part of managing a person's estate, you're kind of seeing the end of the race, so to speak, and you're exhausted. And so what happens is folks don't know much about jewelry. That's why I'm here. That's why, thankfully, I can be the smarty britches. So they look in the jewelry box, and what they see in there is, excuse me, what they see in there is some plastic pearls, some, red poppies that are brooches, some American Legion pins. And they look in there and they say like, oh, there's nothing really good in here. We have mom's wedding ring because she was wearing it and she didn't really have a lot of good things. These are some of the things people think. So they just took the whole jewelry box, put it out in the estate sale, and put something like any piece of jewelry, $1 or whatever. Now, for you, this might seem like a chance thing. That's like, how often does that happen, right? Well, if you've ever had a garage sale, you have probably, or an estate sale, you probably had the unlucky occurrence of 2 hours before your opening, someone knocks on your door and asks, do you have any jewelry? Now, those of you who are watching me now and folks that are going to be watching me on the rerun of this video in the future, you know that is true. It's quite amazing. And let me tell you, these people do not get up early on the weekend and go around at the near dead of morning if it isn't really, really profitable. So they are finding things every weekend, every day. So did I mention we call them jewelry vultures? I really despise people who do that. So this lady who brought in the ring, she clearly was just a person who likes garage sailing. But there are people who do this as a business, and they're just hoping you don't know what you have. And that just gets me so steamed up. So, and I should say my grandmother, along with many of your parents and grandparents, kept all of her jewelry, her good jewelry and her fake jewelry, all in the same jewelry box. So there really is no way to know what's good and what isn't good in that box. But I have a good solution for you. I actually have two good solutions for you. The first one is you can take advantage of our free 1-hour jewelry evaluation here at Masterpiece Jewelers. What that entails is if you have inherited jewelry or if you have jewelry that you'd like to know more about, you can make an appointment and my sister Tracy or I will sit down with you and go through everything you have. And when I say everything, I mean bring it all. Please bring it all. I could tell stories for a long, long time about how virtually every single time we sit down with someone, we find something that's real that they thought was fake. I'm talking 95% of the time. That's an amazing statistic. And we do these 1-hour free jewelry evaluations several times every week. So we are happy to do that. It's part of our Know What You Own program, and it's part of what we give back to the community. We will tell you what is real, what is costume jewelry, and what is collectible. And then you can go from there. The other part is if you are, that we would like to do for folks in our area and folks out of our area, is we have written a booklet that helps you to make sure that your family doesn't lose an heirloom like this family did. It's still, I mean, it's been many years, probably 15 years, seriously, and it still really bothers me. And so what you can do is you can get our, we will gladly send to you, or you can stop by the store and pick it up, our 5 things you should never do when you inherit jewelry. This little booklet is a quick and easy read. It will stop you from making mistakes that almost everyone makes when they are dealing with an estate. Because as I said, we're just, we've been through it with my mom, with my grandma, with my grandpa, and you're just not at your best at that time. And having people swoop in and hope that they can find something you missed is really so unethical and terrible. Finding something and saying to the owner, did you know this is a diamond? That's good. But when you're a professional coming around buying jewelry all day, that is not so good. So we will gladly mail you this booklet if you just text or call us at 386-252-0010. And that would be gladly to people in our area. You can just stop by and pick it up, or people outside of our area. We would be so glad to send you a copy and make sure that this does not happen to you. So until next Monday, I hope you all have a wonderful week. We appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for supporting our small business. It means so much to us. And we look forward to actually seeing you on Wednesday for our every week live online jewelry sale. So that will be this Wednesday. And in fact, we are giving away, where's that? Here it is, just really quick. This is what we're giving away this week, a black and white diamond necklace. So you definitely want to tune in. That is Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live. I said I'd try to keep this to 10 minutes, and I'm almost on 11 minutes now, so I better get off here. So thank you all so much. I truly appreciate you, and we will see you on Wednesday.